Welcome back to the Roundtable. This is your host, Emilio DiSpirito, and on the line with us, we're going to have Jessica Edgerton. She's Associate Counsel with the National Association of Realtors, and she's calling in from the headquarters in Chicago. And Jessica, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about real estate scams uncovered. It's a huge national problem, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Jessica, can you briefly describe to our listeners basically who is the National Association of Realtors, what we do to protect consumers, and what your role at National Association of Realtors is?
Absolutely. So National Association of Realtors is the country's largest trade association. Overall, we represent more than 1 million residential and commercial realtor members. We do a lot of advocacy on Capitol Hill, give our members a lot of access to business tools, market data, education. And in terms of the consumer side, we are also a leading advocate for America's 75 million home and property owners and the individuals that do want to eventually buy a home. So we do this through supporting responsible access to mortgages, favorable tax treatments, stable housing markets. So we're both, on the realtor side, real estate agent side, and also on the consumer side. As for me, I'm in-house counsel. So I represent the organization itself, but also do a lot of education for our members and for homeowners, consumers, and homeowner hopefuls out there.
Yeah, that's great. I actually seen National Association of Realtors blasted out an email, and your article was on there, and I clicked around, and then I got to one of your videos, and I just thought, the information was just so well put together, and you did such a nice job. I had to have you on the show, so thank you for coming on with us.
I appreciate it. I love getting this message out. It's a huge issue right now, and a lot of people are being hurt by it. So thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Jessica, there's an alarming number of wire frauds that are popping up in the news. It's all across the United States. Can you please describe? Some of our listeners might not know what actually wiring money is, or maybe they do, but it's kind of unclear. Can you please describe what exactly wire fraud is and who is affected and how consumers and real estate professionals can kind of protect themselves from this?
Sure. So in the real estate industry, you go to buy a house, there's a huge amount of money being involved. And wiring money is one of the sort of tools of the trade, modern tools of the trade. It's how a lot of these transactions happen. Hackers have recognized this, and there's a particular scheme hitting the real estate industry. It's in other areas as well, but this is what we're talking about today. In the real estate arena, what will happen is this. So a hacker will break into the account of someone involved in a real estate transaction.
Okay.
What we're seeing very often is the real estate agent's account being hacked into. They will not do anything. They'll just sit there and monitor the transaction, the pieces of the transaction. They'll gather information on the players, the amounts, the dates. And then at the 11th hour, right before the transaction closes, they will strike. What they'll do is they will send an email to the buyer, the person who's going to be wiring the money, and they'll say, hey guys, congratulations, there's actually a last minute change. They'll make the email look like it's from somebody involved in the transaction.
Scary.
Yep. And this is called spear phishing. It's a term of art. So they pretend to be somebody else involved in the transaction, and they make these emails look so real. Savvy people are being duped. They're using the signature and even the way that the email, the terms that people use, the greetings, hey there. They know how to make these emails look real. They'll say there's been a change to the wiring instructions. Send the money here. Here's the wiring instructions. Congratulations, everybody. Job well done. And then the wiring instructions are, of course, leading to the hacker, right? So the money gets sent. I've heard of amounts from $20,000 to $175,000, $180,000 actually lost in this. I've also heard attempts, near misses on $800,000, $500,000. We're talking about massive amounts of money here. And the money will be gone. It's very often being wired overseas.
Yeah.
There have been a couple times when they've actually been able to track it. The $800,000 was stopped in the Philippines last minute. It was on its way to Russia.
Wow.
So that's what's going on.
Wow.
And then, as to your question, what can we do to prevent this?
Yes.
You know, a lot of this comes down to user education. This is human. You know, I talked to my tech guy the other day. I said, you know, okay, so tell me the technology tools. He said, sure. You know, firewalls. You know, use good passwords. Implement security measures. Don't use free email accounts. There are a few sort of tech-related things, but really what it comes down to is the human element. Communicate from day one, whether you're the buyer, the seller, the real estate agent, whoever you are in the transaction. Talk from day one. Say there are these fraudsters out there. Let's all make sure that we are putting our flags up, recognize that this is going on, and I will, you know, either say only wiring instructions will come via, for example, fax, not via email. That's something a lot of people are doing.
Oh, really?
Or I will only send it via encrypted email. Let everybody know. So if they see an email come through that isn't exactly what you described it would be, they're gonna have a red flag raised. Another thing, whoever is sending the money should always pick up the phone immediately prior and say, I got these wiring instructions. I know you gave them to me the other day. I'm going to go over them one more time. When you make that call, make sure you're using a verified email, not something that's in an unverified email, or a verified phone number, not something that's in an unverified email.
I see. So, question for you. So, let's just say, like Teresa, our attorney here on the show, her email address. Let's say it's tsantoro@germanititleandclosing.com. Our people aren't accessing emails like that. They're doing things from like at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, at the free emails, correct? Usually,
yes. That's where I've heard it. I've also heard of this happening because people are conducting business over unsecured Wi-Fi. That's another thing you shouldn't do. Don't go, you know, doing your business on your local cafe's free Wi-Fi. But again, yes, free email accounts are not a good idea ever for business transactions. You know, keep it. The business emails are going to have a lot more protections. But even then, don't take anything for granted. These people are getting, for example, passwords. You know, even if you've got a super secure email account, if you've got your, you know, if you post something to your Facebook account and it's viewable publicly, it says, "Happy birthday to my little boy Jimmy, third birthday." You know, well, did you just give the public, you know, the keys to your kingdom? Are those the elements of your password? So there are lots. These people are going everywhere. Did you just give them some of your security answers for your bank account? These people are online is a public marketplace, and people don't realize that they're giving out information, sometimes constantly.
Sure.
To these guys.
It's absolutely crazy. Some of the things I see my friends and family share on Facebook, I contact them immediately and say, hey, you might not want to post that. You might want to take that down because you just never know who's watching, who's lurking. It's a pretty scary world. I mean, it doesn't have to be, as long as we're all aware of the signs. And these tips have been super helpful, Jessica.